Hello, everybody. Today we're going to talk about simple syrup versus sugar. What is best for your business? Let's talk about the pros and cons of each, and maybe we can help you decide what you want to do with your company. And I'll tell you what I do at the end of the video. I've done both and what I prefer. This is Mike, the Caesar of concessions. All right. So let's start off here. This is a hotly contested topic, honestly, when we get close to lemonade season every year. And like I said, I've done both for the 15 years starting this year that we've been in business selling lemonade and full time. And I'm so happy about that and so grateful. So, in saying that, since we've used both, I got a pretty good handle on what the pros and cons are. So, simple syrup usually is pre-made, whether it's at your commissary, your house, whatever. I don't know everyone's rules and regulations, but it's typically pre-made and then brought to the job site. Okay. So sugar, you're just buying the big, huge bags of sugar and then taking those to the job site, right? Because simple syrup is made beforehand. Sugar, when you add sugar to your cup, is made on site at the time of the order, right? So they're two different processes as far as that is concerned. Now with labor, a little more labor on the simple syrup side, and I'll tell you why. Because you got to make it beforehand. So you got to lug the simple syrup, and however many containers you're going to need for that. You're also going to need to lug your water, whether you're using bottles of water for your lemonades or waters in a container, water in a container. So either way, you're going to have to carry more. So from a labor perspective, I think the sugar is easier because there's just less to carry. And you're not pre-making a bunch, then having to pour it into the containers or however you're doing it. Some may do it in the containers themselves, but regardless, the fact remains, you still got to lug that there. So from a labor perspective, I think sugar's going to get the nod on this one. Now, what about planning? So if you've got to have simple syrup or sugar, how do you plan for the people that are coming? It's much easier with sugar because you can overbuy on the sugar. It's not going to go bad as long as you store it obviously appropriately, right? So the sugar's not going to go bad. And you can take it with you and you can overbuy on the sugar and be okay. On the simple syrup side, if you undercut what you think you may need, well, how are you going to sweeten your lemonades if you sell out well before you should, right? So there are some dynamics here that have to be considered between the two. So again, for this category, as far as the ordering process and trying to hit that target sales mark easier, I think sugar gets the nod on this one. Well, let's talk about taste, right? And they are different, okay? They do taste different, and I would say taste slash texture, because there is a difference here. Before I get into that, we have a membership program on our YouTube channel, almost up to 100 members, and we do workshops. Can you imagine all of us collaborating together in these workshops we do twice a month in voice chat, different people giving up different ideas, and all of us collaborating together, growing our business together. If you want to be a part of the team, it's only $2 a month, guys. We do 2 workshops a month. You get exclusive videos from me that the public doesn't see, and you get mentorship from me through the Discord server where the lessons are held or the workshops are held twice a month. $2 a month, link will be in the description. Taste slash texture is different because you see with simple syrup, the whole reason you're doing it is to already dissolve the sugar. That's one of the main reasons you're doing it, right? Well, when you use sugar per cup, there's always going to be some sugar that goes down to the bottom right? And it's always going to be a little grainier, and you're going to have this sweet sugar mixture at the very end of the drink, okay? So there's always going to be a texture difference. So for the grainier, more old-fashioned dish, I guess you would call it lemonade, you're going to want to go with the sugar. If you want the sugar totally dissolved, because you're not going to get it dissolved, I don't care how long you shake it. I mean, it's going to take you a very long time to dissolve that, right? To get every part of the sugar dissolved. So for efficiency, that winner has to go to simple syrup, because it is more efficient because the sugar is already dissolved, if that is your aim. There are some people who, meaning people who sell it, who want the sugar totally dissolved. Okay? Your preference, again, as a company. Now, so that's what I mean by texture, that you are going to have that grainy, and that texture and that extra sugar boost at the end, again, is a preference. So that one I can't give a winner or loser to, because taste is so subjective. Okay, let's talk about shaking, like the actual shaking of it. With simple syrup, you don't need to shake it because the sugar's already dissolved. That's part of the reason that you're shaking the lemonade to begin with, is to get that sugar mixed throughout the whole beverage, right? You don't need to do that with simple syrup. So that category, as far as not having to shake it, I guess that goes to simple syrup, but isn't that part of the deal? Isn't that part of the attraction of what we do, is the actual shaking? For us as a company, I would say, yeah, that's part of it. That's why we do what we do to a point, and why we use the products we do, because we want to shake it. We want that experience for the customer. Okay? This channel has a sponsor I'm so grateful for, kettlecornmachine.com. Guys, I got the best lemonade and kettle corn equipment in the market. Check them out. kettlecornmachine.com. I have an A1 sweep machine, a kettle corn piece of equipment that has been with us the whole time for 15 years. No other piece of equipment has lasted that long. Check them out. kettlecornmachine.com. Okay. As far as the sugar not dissolving, okay, versus simple syrup where it does, guys, I promise you, and I mean this, I swear, for 15 years, I've never had one complaint ever out of the, I don't know how many lemonades we sold, a lot, through the course of our business, right, that anyone has ever complained about the sugar not being dissolved. Not one complaint ever has anyone said, man, the sugar's not dissolved. People understand it. So I don't think it's a big deal as far as the sugar being dissolved. That is up to you as a business owner if that is important to you. But I'm telling you, it's not important to your customers from my experience. Okay. No doubt, simple syrup makes it way easier at the time of service, because you're just getting in maybe 3 pumps, maybe 4, maybe 5. Again, taste is subjective. Maybe you want to make it sweeter. Maybe you want to make it, more tart. I don't know. It's up to you. But you can do that with simple syrup. When you're using sugar, for us, we use a 1/4 cup, right? That's it. Every single time. 1/4 cup of sugar goes into shaker cup, right? So I can't really adjust. I mean, I guess I could put a little less sugar in it if I wanted to, but that's just not our business model and how we do it. But you could with simple syrup real easily, really, just by adjusting the amount of simple syrup you're putting in your beverage. Okay. Here's a common misconception with simple syrup. You don't need to boil it at all. We just use warm water, okay? And put the sugar ratio in that we want. and then mix it up, and then we literally pour it into another container to take with us. So with that being said, you don't need to boil it. I see a lot of people talking about that. You don't need to. No reason for it. The warm water will dissolve perfectly. You can even use cool water. It just takes a little bit longer, and you got to stir it a little more often. That's it. Okay. Some of the customers actually like the sugar at the end. I'm serious. Like I said, I've had zero complaints about the sugar not being dissolved. Never had a complaint. But I've had people tell us how much they love the sugar that comes at the end of the beverage. Because you think about it, it's a bunch of sugar that didn't get dissolved, right? And then when they take that last swig with the remaining liquid that's left in there, it's super sweet. It's delicious. And so people will actually talk about that, meaning the customers that we've had. So with everything being said, and like I said, we've sold both throughout the years, trying to find what works best for our company, we stay with the sugar method. That is just what we prefer. We don't have to worry about carrying as much. We don't have to make sure our ordering is as precise, right? If we're wrong in our ordering. So we just take the sugar, keep it simple, and make it per cup. That's just our company and how we do it. But hopefully this list of pros and cons will help you make a decision what is best for your company. This is Mike, the Caesar of Concessions, out.